Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So, yeah, before I start off, right, um, I came in thinking of talking about how we were managed to do an implementation in 10 days, and Hadi took my this thing off by saying that they actually did an implementation in 40 days, and they actually completed in 10 days. Wow, I said. Anyway, my talk today is about implementing ERP in an enterprise scale company, and we did the first one. We started the first one in March of 2021, and we very consciously engaged with Frappe for this right from the beginning. I mean, our team was we want to get it right the first time, right? So that's the one I want to talk about. So just to structure my conversation around it, I'll talk about who we are as a company, Promatia. What did we do before we started off with ERPNext? Our initial foray into the product, how we sort of acclimatized ourselves with the product in terms of the technology, in terms of the functional features, what's the best way to implement it, and then walk through the example, just reflect on it, what worked, what we think we can do better, and things like that. So about us. I had a company called Promatia based in Bangalore. We are 12 years old and we focus on open source business solutions. Um, and the model that we work with is we work with very few products. So over the last 12 years, there are only 4 products that we work with. There's one, I would say not the last 12 years, the first 8 years. Okay, there was one ERP called Open Bravo with whom we are partners for the last 10 years. It sort of rings with, echoes what Hadi was saying also. We also believe very few products is the best way we can go deep into it. A couple of e-commerce products and a document management product called AlphaScore. So few products, we go deep into the product, we understand the product, and we also, where possible, we engage with the principals. So we are a partner, we're still a partner with Open Bravo even now. Clientele wise, we've been we work with different kinds of clients. We are happy working with SMBs where we directly talk to the business. We also like working with large enterprises and the challenges and the scalability requirements, the processes of that as well. So work with both kinds of clients across countries, and we actually like to work across domains also. One of the reasons is we like to come in as the people who understand the product and who can do analysis, and the customer is the subject matter expert in terms of what needs to be implemented. Uh, we don't want to come in as the experts who will solve your come with a silver bullet to solve your problems. So we in that sense by we actually used to work, we've actually worked with all these domains, manufacturing, distribution, education, healthcare, but the core product that we were working with, which is Open Bravo, tended to focus more on retail, and that is why we said, okay, we want to actually look at other products so that we can still keep up kind of portfolio that we'd like to keep. So that is when we started looking at ERPNext. Is my screen coming up? Okay, around 2018, we started looking at other open source ERPs to see which is the right one. And I don't think it'll surprise anybody in this audience that it didn't take us much time to finalize ERPNext as a product that we'd work with. Through most of 2019, we were actually doing competency development. So we actually spent time implementing modules in our company, doing, let's say, the dummy implementations as part of pre-sales. And around towards the end of 2019, we started our go-to-market, and the sales cycle for SMBs is quite small. We were very focused on small, simple implementations. And we probably started our first implementation sometime in 2019. Through 2020, our focus was on SMB clients. We worked with multiple of them through the COVID days, working remotely with them. Much of it had been in terms of what is a very simple implementation. Again, going as close to out of the box as possible. And except in terms of, let's say, client side issues. Most of our challenges seem to be in terms of support, because we felt very comfortable completing implementation with technical support through the community, as well as on a transactional level from Frappe. But on support, we found, what shall I say, a little bit uneasy when we gave SLAs to our customers. So really happy, Umair, that you come up with a SMB plan, because that is a bit, when I need to honestly go to a client and say I can provide you an SLA, that is the backing or the insurance that I need. So that is something that we loved. Of course, we would have also loved if they can also provide something similar for clients who don't want to come on the Frappe cloud, but that's something we're still talking to Frappe about. Hopefully, if there are other partners interested in that as well, that might happen. And around end of 2020, we started looking at enterprise clients. It took us, as I think Faraz and the sales team were talking about, the sales cycles are long, so it took about 4 or 5 months to convert the first one, and we started our first enterprise engagement in 2021. So before I go to the enterprise engagement, I'd just like to quickly talk about a simple case study of which sort of highlights our SMB approach. Again, quite similar to what Hadi was saying. In this particular customer, it was a drone manufacturer based in Bangalore. Actually, it was introduced to us by Frappe itself, and they were talking to us in January, and we signed the contract in February, and they needed it to go live by April. All modules: sales, purchase, manufacturing, CRM, HR. So the approach that we took there was as close to out of the box as possible. There were some configurations in terms of workflows, in terms of notifications, in terms of report format, in terms of document formatting. We dissuaded them from any major investment in reports at that time. We had one of our senior consultants sitting in their office working, and we completed in 60 days, which I thought was a very incredible effort. 60 calendar days, which was about 40 days. And we finally completed the implementation. It was targeted around April 4th. They would give us the stock as of 31st of March on April 3rd, and we were supposed to go live on April 4th. We couldn't meet that deadline. We completed by April 10th. And it was a good implementation, I would say, because within a month, I think most of our teething issues got resolved, and they were pretty much on their own. So this is how we did many of our SMB implementations, very much focused on going as close to out of the box as possible. And then comes the enterprise opportunities, and this particular opportunity was for a textile company, which was a social enterprise, which was working with clusters of artisans in North India. They had both retail and B2B sales, as well as the manufacturing of apparels, as well as furnishings. And from a client perspective, it's interesting in terms of my conversations with them after we took the order. They said there were multiple other products, especially apparel focused products, which were better suited for them. But because we had they were more comfortable with going with ERPNext. One aspect of it was because it's open source. They felt that the end solution, which required to cater to things that we were planning for their clusters, they felt it would be more flexible to achieve it. And of course, the capabilities of the product, I think the comfort they felt with Frappe. A couple of people from Frappe were there as part of the pre-sales discussions, as well as our consulting experience as well. So that was the customer's take when we started the project. From our perspective, we were very clear that this would require customizations, and so we were very conscious that we wanted Frappe to be engaged in a proactive way through the whole engagement, continuously through the engagement. There was one area that we were especially concerned about was because of retail. We we feel the retail market is quite demanding on the product that it has, and so we wanted to be assured of the kind of support that we would require there. So given that we actually talked this with Frappe, I think along with the customer, and they also agreed that they could be a part of the implementation in terms of oversight and in terms of providing us support. So the model was this is how the model was. The customer had a core team which consists of the sponsor as well as you could call the champion, and she was actually a full-time consultant who was working on the ERP implementation for the last 6 months, interacting with the subject matter experts, really very familiar, multiple years experienced in the domain, as well as networked with the staff there. As well as there was an external consultant who had a lot of large enterprise product implementation and technology experience. From our side, we had a delivery head to provide our oversight and implementation manager, and functional and technical consultants. And we were very clear that we were responsible for the project management, the solution, the requirements gather, elicitation, solution definition, and the implementation. And ERPNext was engaged in terms of they had an engagement manager, engagement coordinator, and who was our point of contact for both issues as well as any support that we required. They did both implementation and design reviews. They were part of our steering committee through the engagement. In terms of how it went, I think the best way to talk is through some examples. So we had solution reviews at key points, as well as when we felt there was a significant feature gap that we said. One area that we found that was in terms of, let's say, they had a sort of a business unit model where they had multiple business units where the data and the workflow needed to be constrained based on the business unit that they were working, and that's something that we didn't see in ERPNext. We had a couple of solution options, and we discussed and sort of finalized that with the Frappe team. In fact, the consultant who have actually implemented it for other customers were also part of a discussion. Where I think one of the nice things I got from that was there's a very simple thing about having having that the location data or the BU data in the session, so that as the user logs in, it gets registered on the session and gets linked to every transaction that they make. It was a simple, easy to implement feedback from Frappe, but I feel it would help a lot in terms of data quality and usability for the client. The client also, how am I for time? Yeah. The client also wanted to actually integrate with Shopify, and we actually initially started off with the core product with the Shopify integration, which was there with it. That had gaps in terms of capabilities. So in discussion with Frappe, we decided to use the new e-commerce connector and implement it there. And in being an early adopter, there were some challenges for us because we did get a few issues, and there were features which the implementation needed some adaptation to be really working for the customer. So But in all fairness to Frappe, they were quite responsive in terms of resolving the issues. And if I look in hindsight, I think we missed a thing there in terms of telling the customer the benefits and the cost of going for an early adoption route, so that expectation setting in terms of when we gave them the option of going with the new connector, we didn't probably clearly mention to them. But anyway, that's all behind us now, and they've actually got the retail part of the business up on the system. Across the board, we've had multiple situations where we had product guidances, and want to sort of reflect on a couple of them. One of them was we knew how to use and use ERPNext for GST because we have used it for SMBs. But in a larger enterprise, there was a lot of stock transfer between different states, and that also requires GST in terms of GST transactions because the GST numbers are different in different states. We didn't realize there was a capability in Frappe to do that, and it came out in discussions with because Frappe also keeps adding features. It's quite partner we miss things out. So when we thought we didn't have it, we verified with them and we found there was a feature. And there was another case where for let's say for I think it was related to e-way bill or something like that, where we need e-way bills for local transfers. Okay, so again it was not there. So we verified with Frappe. So and sort of got an like confirmation that feature is not there and is not coming in the short term. Once we were confident that that was the case, we went ahead and implemented it. So it helps, even it helps us, helps the customer feel comfortable that of the decisions that we take in terms of, let's say, when we go for customizations. But another thing I need to thank my what shall I say, engagement manager and the Frappe team was in terms of bug fixes and usability. We would raise it through ERPNext.com, the ticketing solution. But when there are critical issues, we didn't hesitate to escalate, and they were quite supportive on those ones. We also were wary, and we did not escalate often, I hope. But they were really supportive when we really needed something to be resolved. We were also able to explain to them. Having somebody like that helped, because we could sometimes Frappe, when they're building a new feature, do not understand every customer context, right? So that what should I say, sometimes giving a real example with the real cases help them take it to the product team and have the product improved to cover those features as well. So those were some of the cases that we had. And just at the end of it, I was just looking at what can we do better. Like, this is very much a Promatia thing, right? We want to do more enterprise as well as more SME clients, and I'm sure we can do better, right? There are a few things that came up to my mind. One is in terms of when we engage Frappe for pre-sales. It's a bit of a, what shall I say, both sides are there, because we don't convert every pre-sales engagement that we do, but keeping them, there's one phrase that Amit used, which is which is called keeping us honest. And I like that. There are many times where from a sales perspective, right, we may tend to oversell, and having somebody else review it will give us a good solution, as well as make sure it's a solution that we can make a good delivery on. So I would say, as we hope, when we take larger projects, we try and engage Frappe in terms of slightly earlier in our solutioning process in the pre-sale side. Another area is in terms of the roadmap. This is something that I've actually talked with Frappe a few times as well, and would like visibility to the roadmap so that we are aligned to that roadmap and for our existing customers as well as future. That's something I think Frappe is also planning, but still I think their roadmap tends to be shorter, and I'm used to the other partner who used to give us 1 year roadmap. So I'm still trying to adapt to this short-term roadmap. The Frappe speed of delivery is much better, but yeah, the roadmap tends to be like quarterly in many ways. Another area I think we need to improve on is in terms of community engagement. During many of our SMB implementations, right, we depended on Discuss to get feedback, to get support, to get ideas, looking into the queries and the answers. But we've not actually spent enough time answering questions. So that's something that I need to ask my team to also get more involved in. Also in terms of, let's say, putting up feature requests, putting bugs on in terms of putting up bugs that we find out with let's say steps to reproduce. We've actually done much of it through the ticketing system, but I think the onus is on us to be a part of the community, putting it up in GitHub as well. Another thing that I would like my team to do is also be more familiar with the code, right? In terms of be able to understand, localize bugs and provide patches. That's something I think as my team also gets more comfortable, I'm hoping they would do, because finally it's an open source product. So I would like to, while we would always look at Frappe as the principal, as a member of the community, I would like to also participate in terms of, let's say, every aspect of the community activities. So that's another area that I think I've been talking with Baswaraj on, is to engage with meetups and make sure that that kind of events also happen around in Bangalore. So that's about it. I also want to thank my team, Pallavi, Malvika, Veena, and Subramani, who are part of this implementation, as well as the people from Frappe who helped us. So that's Amit, Rijwal, Dipen, and Mithali. Rijwal has been our engagement manager. Special thank you to you, Rijwal. Rijwal, sorry. Thanks. That's it from me. I'm up for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for sharing your experience with us, Mr. Hari. Are there any questions or any feedback anyone would like to share? You can do so now.